Well, good morning from Canal Campground in Kentucky. Me and all my friends, we'll have a little barbecue today. We're gonna do brisket. We got 3 of them this morning. They're 4 pounds, 4 pounds, and 3.5 pounds. So we're gonna have a little over 12 pounds there. So we're gonna need to get started cooking here soon. We're gonna do this for dinner today. And I think this is the first time that I've actually cooked a brisket for you guys. I think usually it's ribs and butts, and the brisket is it's a different kind of meat. Got to treat it different. Give it the old smell test. Make sure everything still smells good. You never know when you get meat. So the way I like to cook them is I do low and slow, and I do salt and pepper. Give this an old smell test too. Yep, smells like beef. And your formula for the salt and pepper for me is I just do a really good dusting of salt on there. Kind of heavy actually. Yep. And then when I do the pepper, I do it to where it's kind of got it fully covered. Some of you that's squeamish there, don't be looking right now. Clean this off. And I do always clean my table before I start and when I finish with these eco wipes. And they are an industrial grade cleaner for equipment. Like in meat kitchens and stuff where they have to clean the slicers and the stainless steel tables and stuff. That's what I use. That's what these right here are. So that is what I use. All right, so we got our 3 nice pieces of brisket right here. And there's no real secret, nothing fancy about it. I don't use any kind of fancy equipment to do it. I know some people want to make this look real difficult to do. It is not difficult. I just use plain old Morton salt. Now, when I do mainly Boston butts, when I do Boston butts, I don't use this. You guys will see if you go back and watch the videos or been watching them before. I use pink salt for that. And I don't know, you guys can tell me, does it make a difference on yours? To me it does, I can taste it. So anyway, to salt these, just give them a really good dusting of salt. And I like it to where you can see it on there. And it's gonna help draw some of the juices out. When we put the pepper on there, it's gonna make it stick real good. Again, there's nothing fancy about this. You guys can see I'm making a mess, but that's okay. We're gonna clean it up. I put a liberal amount of salt on pretty much everything I cook. You really can't go wrong with it. You're not gonna taste it in the end anyway. Most of it's gonna sweat off of it. And I do not do a heavy trim on the fat back or on the fat cap. I don't do a heavy trim on. You can see somebody's trimmed this one right here pretty good already. I cook it with the fat cap down. Some people do it up, some people do it down. I just prefer to do it down. And again, with the pepper, you'll see I just do a really good dusting on top of them. And I use coarse pepper. This is Members Mark. You get it from Sam's Club. It's just black coarse pepper. Now it does make it kind of hard to put on there sometimes, and you'll hear me popping the container here to make it come out. Sometimes it wants to get hung up since it's coarse. And just flip these over. That's not the side I'm looking for anyway. This is the side I want to make pretty. If you guys see, you put your hand down beside this, it'll actually bounce off your hand and hit the side of it. There's no fancy here. I know you guys see in the barbecue competitions people doing this. It's really not to look fancy. It's just to make it bounce off your hand and hit the side of it. just like that. Again, I try not to make this difficult. I want you guys to be able to do this from home just like I do, or the campground. Campground's best. You guys think everything always tastes better outside? Go to the ballpark, hot dogs taste better, barbecue tastes better, hamburgers taste better. Heck, even pizza tastes better outside. I don't know what it is, but it does taste better. All right, you guys can see, put that on there. Now, one of the people I camp with, and like I said, we're in Canal, which is by Grand Rivers, Kentucky, and there's a place called Patty's 1880, and this is a seasoning they sell. So my friend brought this to me last night. He says, hey, let's try this on one of them. So I said, sure, why not? I'm always up for trying something new. Wow, it smells good. Didn't even read to see what the ingredients are, but well, oh, okay, so it's got salt, spices, sugar, paprika, dehydrated garlic, dehydrated onion, cornstarch, turmeric, refined soybean oil, and natural flavors. I don't know what natural flavors are. Never have figured that out. Anyway, we're going to try this on one of them, and I'm going to do it on the long one so I can remember which one I put it on. There we go. And I'm just going to put a really good coating right on top of that salt and pepper. We're going to see what that tastes like. All right. I'm going to let them sit there and marinate a little while, because I think being outdoors just makes it better. In the meantime, I'm going to get the smoker going, get it all warmed up. Now I'll see you guys back here in just a little while. Well, as you guys can see, they're all seasoned up and ready to go. About to stick them in the smoker. It's up to temperature, and right there's the first one. We're going to stick it in right there. And the second one. And the third one we're going to put in is the one that I put the, what they call that, rust dust. We'll put it in there, we'll put it on top. And I've got 3 separate probes. We're going to keep up with the temperature.
Anything we can do to help?
No, just get an appetite.
Oh, that smells good already.
All right, what I'm doing now is just putting the probes down deep, trying to get it down into about the middle of the meat. It gives me a good reading on when I'm actually getting to the core temperature, and the core temperature is what you're looking for. So, got that in there. We'll turn that around so we can see it. And then I'm going to add some wood chips to it. Today we're cooking with pecan. Pecan's always good. It's got a really good flavor to it. If you guys have never tried smoking anything with pecan chips, you should try it. It is really, really good. So a lot of people use hickory and oak, but I like to use pecan. Try it out. Put it in the comments. Tell me if you like it better than you do the oak and hickory and that kind of stuff. Even mesquite. Some people like to do mesquite. I just prefer the pecan. I like to put 2 scoops. If you guys are using master built, that's what this is. It's a master built, and it is the, I believe it's the 40 is what they call this one. I think they got a 30 and a 40. This is the larger one anyway. And I always put 2 scoops in there. It makes real good smoke for a little while. Some people like to soak their chips. They say it smokes longer. I don't know. I've done it both ways. My thing is, I just like it to get really smoky really quick. And if you put them in dry, it gets really smoky really quick. And that's what I prefer. So we've got it in, and our initial temperatures is 45, 48, and 48. So that's what we're going to be starting at, and we are at 250, and I've got the timer set for 10 hours. It ain't gonna go that long. I just don't want to take a chance of it's cutting off because it has automatic timer. All right, we're going to get it cooking, and I'll see you guys back in a little while to check in on them. We'll see how it's going. Well, looks like the first one's ready to come off. We are at 202 on the second one, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull it off. We'll go ahead and let it start resting, wait on the other two to catch up. But the middle one was the long flanked one, and the other ones are kind of square. So we'll go ahead and pull it out and let it start resting a little while. And when you guys do this, probably should put some gloves on. It's pretty hot. Always stand back from your door when you open it too. Oh, you got probes falling right there through it, just like hot butter. So we're gonna set that one right there and let it start resting. We're gonna let these other two cook just a little bit longer, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat up just a little bit to help them along a little. All right, let's get this one off now. All right, there's the second one. We're gonna let it sit now. Got one more needs to catch up, and it is at 186, so it should catch up here pretty soon. All right, we're at 201. We're gonna go ahead and pull this last one out. I like to get 203, but we're pressed for time, and we'll go ahead and get this one out and let it be resting while I cut the other ones up. I guess we'll see where we end up at. Pour the juices in the bottom of the pan there. Oh yeah, it looks good. And this is the one that we put the patty seasoning is what it's called. I didn't show you guys before. That's it. All right, let's see what it looks like here. Oh yeah, it's gonna look good. Now these I ran to 203 and 205, and they are slicing very nicely, still very juicy. You can see the juice in them. If you look up here, you can see the juice running out of it. I told you guys I cook mine with fat cap down, so just want you to see that you don't really see a whole lot of difference in it there, do you? So my opinion is it really doesn't matter. A lot of different schools of thought on that, but mine is it just really doesn't matter. And I didn't trim it. You guys noticed I didn't trim it when I started, so most of that fat's always going to render off anyway. Like I said, I know a lot of people make a big deal out of the trimming and everything. Now, on ribs and stuff, yeah, absolutely you should trim them. But on brisket, yeah, I think it may be a little overrated. Let me pour the juice out of this one. And I always like to pour mine over the top. Just puts the juices back into it. But you can see it's not hurting for juice anyway.
It is very juicy. And for the ones of you that want to see the limp test, there it is. And a little bit of stretch to it. You can see it pull. Just right. So now the end of these like this, where it's real uneven, you guys do what you want to. I just really just kind of chop them up and make chop out of it. And you got a piece of fat right here on the end of it, and we ain't gonna use that. We'll put that right over in that. Let's see how it turns out even if it hadn't rested. It's juicy, I can tell you that. Wow, that is a lot of juice. I don't know about some of you. Some people like really thin slices and you put multiple slices on there. I'm not. I'm more of a let's get a piece on the sandwich and it's going to be good. And there it is. 3 briskets. I believe that's going to be some good eating right there. All right. Anyway, that is how you do brisket. All right. Do you mind being on YouTube? I always get somebody to taste it. If you don't mind being on there, I'll record it. All right, so get you a piece of that one right there. Tell me what you think about that. That's pretty good stuff, ain't it? All right, there's your satisfied customer. It ain't just me talking about it this time. So anyway, we're at Canal Campgrounds, and that's my new neighbor, and he told him he could eat dinner with us tonight. He's been smelling it all day, so I thought it was only fair he got a first shot at it. Must be pretty good. He ain't cutting in no slack over there. All right, well, I appreciate you tasting it for me. And until next time, we'll see you guys down the road. See ya.